Hello, everyone. My name is Joan Kaler. Welcome to this podcast. This is Freedom from Fear, Just Tap It. I am an international speaker, consultant, teacher, and trainer around the world. What I enjoy doing is coming to you and teaching you how you can be free from fear. On today's podcast, I want to discuss the addiction to fear, because what often happens is when I'm counseling someone, they'll say, I don't want to be worried, but I can't stop worrying. And I understand that. Traditional counseling can help us teach and learn coping mechanisms, how to relax, how to perhaps think of things in a different way. But quite honestly, fear can be an addiction if your brain is stuck in that fear. If your brain doesn't know how to switch itself off, then it will be addicted to the fear, addicted to thinking that this is normal when it's not normal. Many times people will ask me, well, how can I stop being worried? How can I stop being afraid? I've been this way all my life. That's the addiction, when your brain doesn't know how to shut itself off. What I want to do is I want to take you to some places to better understand what's happening with your brain. So I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you the brain. First of all, I'm going to share the brain. So here we are. Okay. Our brain is right. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I hope you can. See, this is the brainstem right here. And this is part of our spine. It goes up into our brain. And then over here on both sides, actually on both sides, we have the amygdala, which you can see it labeled over here. That's the part of the brain that gets triggered when we sense fear or something to worry about. People who are addicted to fear are always stuck in their amygdala, okay? Now, down here is the hippocampus, and that holds memory. If you have a past trauma, unhappy event, something that happened to you, that's stored down here in the hippocampus. Then when you're in your current life, something triggers that memory from the hippocampus. The amygdala gets activated and this happens over and over again. So the brain doesn't know any other way to be. It's not up front in the in the frontal lobe here. It's not up there where calm and reason are. It's back in the primitive brain, back in the back here with the hippocampus and the amygdala. So that's what happens here. We get stuck back here. We get stuck in our primitive selves. We get stuck thinking this is the way it is. And yet it's so uncomfortable. We don't want to live here, but we don't know how to get out of it. That's part of the addiction. When someone is addicted to fear, they live this way 24/7, and then it takes self-medication, drugs, alcohol, whatever else, shopping, gambling, whatever else soothes the brain or gets them out of that temporarily and causes so much chaos in someone's life. Or you may be on prescribed medication. You may be on a benzodiazepine. You may be on an antidepressant. Something that chemically shuts down the amygdala so that you feel calm, but you're kind of going around in a fog most of the time, or at least what happens is it takes the edge off. Some people, like here in Pennsylvania, if somebody's diagnosed as having post-traumatic stress disorder, they might be on medical marijuana, which is also helpful. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen for a moment now that you have a picture of the brain and you see what's going on. I want to show you how to trick your brain to get out of that fight, flight, or freeze. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to think of something that you're worried about. And I'm sure if you're watching this podcast, you can think of many things to worry about. So just pick one, and I'm going to share my screen again because I want you to see what's happening here. So I'm going to go over to another. Okay, here we go. I want this one. Yep. Okay. So as you can see, here's a lady that's worried about something. Okay. So whatever you're worried about, take your mind there. Probably you're worried about it all the time. You can't get it out of your mind. So now I'm asking you to focus on it. Now, how we trick our brain is to do this. Okay. All right. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to go here. That's a beach in Hawaii. I want you to stare at the beach now and calm. So we're going to do this. We're going to do a few seconds of calm. Imagine walking on the beach, or maybe walking in the woods, or walking in the forest, getting fresh air. Okay, now we're going to go back to being worried again. Worry, 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 worry. Now we're going to go back to being calm. What we're doing is we're doing the back of the brain, the front of the brain, the back of the brain where worry lives, the front of the brain where calm is. And we go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Now, go back to the worry. And whatever it is that you're worried about, I want you to exaggerate the colors, the sounds, what you hear, what you see, the brightness, what you feel, what you taste. Use all your 5 senses to get in touch with what you're worried about. And it's going to be really close. I want you to bring it up to your face. And then what you're going to do is you're going to imagine that worry, that fear, and you're going to imagine it floating away from you further and further and further until you can no longer see it. So go ahead. Close your eyes right now. See your feared thing, a person, an event, a future worry. See that in your mind close up. Exaggerate everything. And now it starts floating away from you. While you have your eyes closed, it's floating away from you, getting further and further and further and further and further until you can no longer see it. Okay? Still with your eyes closed. It's floating further away until you can no longer see it. Right. Perfect. Now, open your eyes and see the beach. Beautiful. Now use all your 5 senses. Feel the gentle breeze. Smell the ocean. Feel the sand under your toes. Yes. Okay. See the beautiful clouds, the birds, the seagulls. Take in that fresh smell. Feel the wind. It feels wonderful. Taste the sea salt in your mouth, perhaps. Yeah. And all your 5 senses. And now close your eyes and imagine being on the beach. As much as you can exaggerate whatever it is that helps you relax. The beach, the woods, taking a walk, playing with your child, playing with a puppy. Have it get brighter and brighter and brighter and closer and closer and closer and brighter and brighter and closer and closer. And now I want you to touch your forehead. You are now locking that calming image with the sights, the sounds, the tastes, the sensations, everything that you are experiencing in this moment. You are now locking it right in your frontal lobe by touching your forehead. So now whenever you get worried about something, if it even happens, touch the beginning of your forehead and the feeling of calm will come over you. This is how you confuse your brain. This is how you change the way your brain thinks. I'm going to stop sharing now and come back to you. This is how you trick your brain into taking on a new thought. This is how you get unstuck from your amygdala and teach your brain another way of thinking. Teach your brain that it is okay to let go of the worry thought. You don't need it anymore. Practice this exercise every single day, at least 3 times a day. This is what I want you to be addicted to. Not fear, but meditation. Using these techniques to help get your brain unstuck because you don't want to be addicted to fear and worry anymore. You want to be able to let that go. And if in fact something does pop up to trigger your amygdala, trigger fear, all you're going to do is touch your forehead, take a deep breath, and you will feel calm again. Listen to the sound of my voice. Ever calming, ever more relaxed, ever more unstuck. This is why I created this podcast, Freedom from Fear, Just Tap It, to help you get unstuck. If you find this podcast helpful, please share it with your family and friends. Please rate it on iTunes. I'm going to be coming to you with more and more solutions for fear and worry and anxiety. I love them because I know what to do with them, and I'm going to teach you everything that I know. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.